So what we have discussed in the previous class, a quick recap. Servers, okay. Uh-huh. Already discussed. Okay. Red Hat family and Debian family. Okay. And I asked you to create account in AWS, right? Yes, created this. Done. Online. So everyone created AWS account. Shruti, Varun, Viranna, Sai.
Created Sunny.
Good, good, good. Okay, Ravi also joined. Yes, Varun also said yes. Okay, very good. Right. So everyone created AWS account. Type in the done. Very good. Very good. This, right. Sir. So let's log into our AWS account. So once you create your account, just click on sign in and you can log on with your credentials. Account login here. Just a minute, sir. Okay. Because I have created so many accounts, all the accounts are expired. So taking the help of offline guys, credentials. Okay. Just wait a minute. Take this, take this. Let me check. Same thing. Captains. Email correct, mail ID is correct. Yes, yes, everything is correct. Password. Yeah, it's same. I took the screenshot also. That's why I'm taking screenshot. Okay. Data. Let me try out password. On security check, again it will ask TY G A Q A. Q, sir. Hmm. What is this? Sir, we'll refresh this. So please. No, it's a bit better. 8 N TB ZMN. N right last. Verification code. What's in there? What's in there? 900 392. Right. Nice. Thank you. Your name? Pradeep. Pradeep. Yeah. Thank you, Pradeep. Right. Sir, I hope everyone sees my screen, right? You can see my screen, right? Online.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. Okay, very good. Hmm. So this is how it looks like when you log into your AWS account. Okay. So before proceeding further, just we need to understand few points. Okay. Yeah, excuse me for that. Right. So AWS cloud, okay, it span across entire geolocations, like it span across different maps. Okay, um, it span across the globe. Okay, so it contains its data centers. Means if AWS wants to provide you their servers for rent, right? What is the cloud provider will do? They will provide their servers for rent. Okay, so they will be having some servers at a geographical location. For suppose Mumbai, they will be having a group of servers which they will provide for rent. Okay, and they might be having some other servers at some place, might be in North Virginia or somewhere in US. Okay, like this they'll be having their servers at different locations. Okay, these are called as regions. These are called as regions. Okay, terminology is important. Remember. Okay, data center means where their servers located. It's called a data center. Okay, likewise, AWS is having so many regions. Okay, long back it was 16. Now we'll see. Okay, now from any one of the region, you can go ahead and take the servers for rent. That's our wish. Okay, so if you want to see the list of available regions, so here on the right hand side, besides to your name, something called a stock form, right? Okay, so online guys. So previously you missed something. So meanwhile, if you cannot hear me, I'm just dropping down my number. Okay, let me stop sharing. Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. I'm just sending my number. Just any one of you, yes, you can call me at any time. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Uh, Okay. If you can't hear my voice, just try to call to this number. Yeah. Okay. So that I can know. Otherwise, I'll keep on continuing with the class. Okay. Right.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, where we are? Yeah. So here are the list of regions where AWS cloud is having its data centers. Okay, you can see North Virginia, Ohio, North California, Oregon, Mumbai, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, Ireland. See, all these are list of regions
Sir, sir,
where
sir,
AWS.
sorry for the
Yeah.
interruption. We
Ah,
lost your
international
line.
mistake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry. Sorry.
yeah.
Thanks for that. Right. I just forgot. Huh. So here are the list of regions where AWS cloud is having its data center. Okay. Now for our lab, okay, even in real time also. So if you want to create or if you want to take your servers for rent, right? So we will be sticking to any one of the region. Okay. We will be taking the help of any one of the region. Okay, so if I stick to Mumbai, I'll create all my servers in Mumbai. It's not that one server I'll create in Mumbai, one server I'll create in some other region, one server create in one more region. It's not like that. Okay, we will stick to some region. Okay, for this class I'm using your account, right? So I will stick to US East one. Okay, so for your lab, don't take US East one. You can go for US East two or something. Okay, you can choose Mumbai also, but in Mumbai, not all majority of the all services are not available. So better to take out of this four US region. Okay, I'm taking North Virginia. Pradeep, you can take Ohio, North California, Oregon, but stick to that region. Okay. Now the first step is to select the region. Okay, so if you want to create a server, what is the first step? Log into AWS Cloud is the first step. Second step is to select the region. Select a region. Okay, by default you log in. It might be logging into some region. Okay, but just go ahead and select one of the regions out of this top four, so that all the majority of services will be available here. Okay, now AWS Cloud is providing so many servers for rent. Okay, only it's not only a server. They'll provide a database server, database services, network, okay, storage services. Like this, AWS cloud is providing so many services. Okay, suppose if you want to create a server, okay, there are so many services which AWS cloud is offering. Okay, let's look at all the services. See, if you click on the services tab here, services, just click here, click on all services. Or else if you want to see group wise, it is providing services for analytics, application integration, even for blockchain, business application, compute, containers, database, developer tools, IoT, machine learning. So all these are the different group of services that AWS is providing. If you want to see all the services, just click on all services. Okay, now you can see starts with A. Okay, I'll just click on view all services. So we can see these are the list of the services that AWS cloud is providing. Storage, database analytics, security, developer tools, blockchain, satellite, even for satellite, quantum technologies, like this. So many services that for gaming also AWS cloud is providing. Okay, now I want to create a server. That is what our goal, right? Okay, so if you want to create a if you want to create a server, which service that we need to select? Under compute section, there is a service called EC2. Okay, if you want to create a server, we need to select what service? EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, E and two C's. That's what they said. They have put the name as EC2. Okay, how to go to that service? Just once you log in, okay, you can click on services, go for somewhere under compute section. Under compute section, you'll find EC2, or else if you know the service name, directly you can search for EC2. You'll get this service. Clear? If you saw the service name, directly search in the services tab. Here you can go ahead and search for the service EC2. Okay, or else it will be under compute section. Go to services and under compute, you'll find EC2. Okay, now this is how the dashboard looks like when you go to EC2. This is EC2 dashboard. Okay, now it is giving some information. How many instances are running? Nothing is running here, right? We haven't created anything till now. Okay, now I want to create one EC2 instance. Sir, from now onwards, okay, whenever I use a terminology called as instance or machine or server or VM, everything resembles to a server. Okay, any of the terminology that I might use. Okay, all these are synonyms of the same thing, a server. Okay, VM means virtual machine. Okay, or I might use some of the times I might use EC2, EC2 instance or EC2. It is a service name for server also. Sometimes people used to call it as EC2. Okay. Now here we get the option called launch instance. I want to launch a server, right? For that launch instance, click here. Okay, directly you can go ahead and click on this launch instance. Okay. Now look at these options. We have so many options. Good if I little bit decrease the font size. Yeah, I think it's good, right? So here are the list of options. Till now, clear, right? Log into AWS account, select a region and stick to that region until you finish the course, and then search for EC2. This is what you'll get. Click on launch instance. Again, I'm showing. Go to EC2 dashboard. Just click on this launch instance. Wait for a second, and you will get this. This is the screen. Now, first option, name and tags. Here, if you want to provide any name to your server, we might be creating so many servers, right? How will we identify which server is what? Some servers will be configuring for applications. Some server will be for web applications. right? Some servers will be configuring for build, some servers will be configuring for test. So how to identify which server is what? We will be identifying with a name. Okay, so we'll provide a name to our server. Server means EC2 instance. Okay, for now I'll just give the name as demo server. Okay, I'm giving the name. Next, each server will be having an operating system. Yes or no? Server is nothing but an operating system, right? Server operating system. Okay, now here within the second option, we need to select the server operating system. Okay, now let me put that in this way. The first step is to select EC2 service. Okay, the next step is to provide the name, and the third step we would be selecting operating system. What kind of operating system? Server operating system, not desktop operating system. Okay, now in AWS terminology, server is called as EC2 instance. Okay, and operating system is called as AMI. Operating system is called as AMI, stands for Amazon Machine Image. Okay, now uh, so if whenever you want to install any operating system in on your laptop, have you ever tried to install? How will you be installing? Installing with a CD or else a bootable pen drive, right? Now, if I now AWS Cloud is providing their server, their hardware for rent for us. Okay. Now, what are the requirements to create a server? First thing, we should have a hardware, right? Hardware means RAM, CPU, hard disk. Yes or no? This hardware. On top of the hardware, we will be installing a server operating system. These are the two steps, right? To create a basic server. Okay. Now, if you want to install any operating system physically, we'll be installing a DVD or else pen drive. But this hardware is not available with us, right? It is available with on AWS guys. We have connected over the internet. Okay. Then how can we insert a CD or a pen drive to install an operating system? It's not possible, right? So all the operating systems are available with AWS guys. Okay, in the format of images. Okay, these images are called as AMIs, Amazon Machine Images. Okay, we will be selecting the images. Out of the images, we'll be creating operating system. Clear? Instead of going with DVDs or pen drives, we will be selecting image, which is called Amazon Machine Image, and out of which we'll be creating operating system. Now, look at this option. Within the second option, it is asking us to select Amazon Machine Image. Okay. By default, it is suggesting something. Okay. Every option will be having some defaults. Okay. Now I want to see what are the operating systems that are available, out of which I can go ahead and create a server. Yes. So there are two types of AMIs. Okay. One is paid and other ones are free. Some operating systems are paid operating systems. Some operating systems are free operating system. So we have created a free account. So if you select paid operating systems, you will get a bill after 30 days. So we don't want that. We want to select free operating system. Now, just if you click on browse more AMIs, by default you are having some operating systems you can look at here. But if you want to see what are all the operating systems that are available, click on browse more AMIs. Now, okay, on the left hand side, there are filters. You know how to apply filter, right? All of you might be very familiar on online shopping. So they can put the brand wise, price wise, like this, like that. Here you can select free tier. If you select a free tier, all the free operating system images will be displayed on the screen. Or else, if you just scroll down here, you can see the operating systems will be having a tag of free. See, free tier eligible, free tier eligible. It is not free tier, Mac OS. If you select this one, you'll get a bill. Okay, see Red Hat. Mac, Red Hat, SUSE, Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows, which is free tier. Okay, Ubuntu something. There are so many. Debian, AWS, Amazon Linux. Okay, with some GPU, NVIDIA driver, AMI GPU. Okay, so like this Microsoft Windows. So many operating systems which are available. Now I want to just quickly see what are all the operating systems which are available under free tier. I'll just select free tier. Okay, now upgrade filter. Now we can see Amazon 2023 AMI, the names. Linux 2, Red Hat. So out of which we can Ubuntu 22.04 and Ubuntu 24.04, which is the latest version. Okay, so if you want to select, you can go ahead and select any one of this operating system. For now, I am selecting a little bit older. Okay, I'm not selecting right away 2023 because you people, when you go to the industry, people might be claiming some experience on DevOps, right? So we'll be working a little older versions, a little bit. Okay, so that we can see the difference how the things would be in the older versions. Okay, and all the servers will be with some older versions only. Nobody will be having the latest versions installed. Okay, so I am taking Amazon Linux 2 AM as of now. Okay, here are two things. Don't worry about these two things. The first one is for computers. The second one is for mobile devices, ARM devices. Okay, that is a different thing. But make sure you select the first one. Okay, x86. That is what our architecture. Okay, by default it will be selected. Click on select. Done. Okay, now this is what the operating system that we have selected. Amazon Linux 2. Okay, done. Next, the third type, instance type. The third step is instance type. Okay, so for now it might be difficult to understand, but difficult to remember all these things, but it's very easy. Okay, once we create instance for a couple of times, it will be very easy for you not to create. Okay, I just want to tell you all the options which are available to create an EC2 instance. From next time onwards, quickly we'll select what are things that we want. Okay, so instance type. Now within the instance type, we need to mention, okay, uh, we require hardware, right? How much CPU that is required for you, how much RAM that is required for you, right? Here we need to mention the details of CPU capacity and RAM capacity. Okay, according to the hardware that you select, AWS will be calculating the bill. Okay, it's not that you will be taking 48 GB RAM, then they'll be charging 2 rupees. For 24 GB also they won't charge 2 rupees, they'll be charging more than that. Example 2 rupees I said. Okay. Now let's see all the instance types that are available. Okay, by default, it is selecting what instance type. Instance name is here T2 dot what is this? T2 dot micro. Conversion the screen. Okay. It is having 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM, 1 GB RAM. It is available for free tier eligible. Okay. Let's see all the instance type. Okay. Just click on compare all the instances. Now you can see by default T2.micro is available for free tier. Okay, if you can see T1.micro, which is saying 1 CPU, some 0.612 RAM, 1 CPU and zero point 0.5 gigs, 1 CPU and 2 gigs RAM, 2 CPUs and 4 gigs RAM. You can see CPUs and RAM, 8 CPUs, 32 gigs RAM. Okay, now if you just scroll down somewhere, you'll see the 16 CPUs, 30 GB of RAM, 32 CPUs, 60 GB of RAM. Here, see 72 CPUs, 144 gigs of RAM, 96 CPUs, 192 gigs of RAM. If you want to purchase a hardware or a machine with this configuration, it will be a huge amount, right? But if you want, you can quickly use this and you will get some bill and we can terminate the instance. Okay, right? So all the cloud works on pay as you go model. How much time that you use, that much time you need to pay. That much amount you need to pay. Okay. Now 96 CPUs, 192 gigs of RAM, especially machine learning kind of algorithms when you run, right? Artificial intelligence kind of algorithms when you run, you'll go for higher configurations. As of now, we don't want all these things. We want, okay, there is only one thing which is available for free test, that is T2.micro. 1 GB of RAM, 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM will be fine for us. Okay, let's go with the default. Okay, when you go for the Kubernetes, we need to select some higher configurations. As of now, yes, T2.micro is fine for me. Select that instance type. Done. Next, key pair. Again, for this we need to understand a concept. Okay, imagine. Okay, I'll take a new one. Okay, now where I'm creating the server, sir? Where I'm creating somewhere on the cloud. Okay, if you ask specifically where exactly you are creating cloud, I'm creating an AWS cloud. Into which region I'm creating? I'm creating on North Virginia, somewhere in North Virginia. How we are connecting? Through internet only, right? The server is on under North Virginia or somewhere, or even Mumbai also we are staying. I'm staying at Hyderabad. Okay, I'm creating a server where somewhere on cloud. Now where I am? Where I am? I am at my institute, right? Not my institute. I'm at institute. Okay. Imagine this is my institute. I was staying at my your home, right? So I am having a laptop. So from here I am passing some instructions via the internet. Yes or no? So I'm passing some instructions via EC2 dashboard. I want this. Okay. So that the server will get created on cloud. So we haven't still select this option, launch instance. When you click on launch instance, the server will get created. Haven't created launch instance. Just now we are selecting the options, configurations. What are the required configurations? Now imagine, okay, with this configuration, if I launch a server with this instance type, with this operating system, if I launch this, if I launch a server, which I launch an EC2 instance, how to connect to that EC2 instance? If you want to log in, how can you log in? I'll create it. You can create. Okay, what is the use of creation? When you log in, when you use it, then only it will be useful for us, right? So once we create the EC2 instance or a server, how can we log into that machine? Okay, that is what the first point we should know. Okay, now there are two types of logins. Okay, you can log in two ways. The first one is the first one is చెప్పండి, username and password. Okay, so let me put this point straight away. Now, suppose, sir, I'll try to make it simple. So, okay, I'll just simplify this one. I want to use Gmail for the first time. What you'll be doing? What you'll do? You create an account, and then you'll be logging into your account. If I want to use Facebook, sign up. That means nothing but creating an account and then log in. Okay. The same way, if I want to log into a server, first what I need to do? If you want to log in, you should have an account, right? The first thing, I want you to log into Instagram. What you'll be doing? First thing, you need to create account. If you have account, you can log in. The same way, if you want to log into a server, you should have an account. Okay, but we haven't have any account, right? Without logging in, how we can create? Yes or no? So for that, by default, AWS guys, whenever you launch a server, they will provide some default account to log in. You can log in with that default account, and then you can create your user account later on. Clear? Clear? Now, if you want to log in, you should know the default credentials, right? Yes. ఇప్పుడు లాగిన్ అవ్వాలనుకో ఒక డిఫాల్ట్ అకౌంట్ ఇచ్చాడు. లాగిన్ అవ్వాలంటే తెలియాలి కదా యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్. మరి ఎలా తెలుస్తాయి యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్? That is not the first thing. So before you log in to any server, the first thing you should know whether I am having my account or not. Okay. If you are having your account, you can log in. Okay. So they said it's a new server. You don't have any account over here. As of now, we'll create one default account for you so that you can log in. In order to log in, we require username and password. Okay. That's what I'm saying, username and password. But unfortunately, AWS Linux servers will not support username and password kind of authentication. They will support something called as username with private key kind of authentication. Remember, it will not support username and password kind of authentication by default. But what it support? It supports username with private key type of authentication. Okay, we'll play a lot of things with private keys. Don't worry. As of now, it is a thing equal to a password. Okay. Now here within this step, it is asking key pair to log in, right? Now we will be creating a new key, a new private key that we'll be creating here. Okay. I'll show you the username later. When you launch the EC2 instance, you will get to know the username. Okay. But as of now, I know the username is EC2-user. Okay, because I have selected Amazon Linux, which comes under Red Hat family, right? Each server, each operating system that you select, it will be having a default user account name. If you select Ubuntu, Ubuntu would be the default username. If you select some Red Hat or some other thing, username might be root. It varies from OS to OS, AMI to AMI, which you select. We have selected Amazon Linux AMI. The default username is EC2F1 user. I'll show you how to find out. I know the username, but I don't have the private key as of now. Even you don't know the username also, later, once you launch the instance, we'll get to know the username. Okay. Now, within this option, we can go ahead and, if you already have a key, you can go and connect with that. You can go ahead and connect with that key. I don't have any key. I'll say create new key pair. Select. Okay, don't worry about all these things as of now. Just give the key pair name. How to identify that? Okay, I'm giving the name as demo server, right? Now I'll give the key name as demo server key. Okay, don't worry about these encryption models. By default, let it be RSA. Now we need to understand this. Okay, so much of concept that we need to understand before launching the server. Okay, now it is giving the key file in two formats. One is .pem, one is .ppk. Now which type of key format that we need to select? Okay, whether we should go for pem or ppk. For that, see what we are launching, sir. We are launching a Linux operating system, yes or no? Even though it is Amazon Linux, it comes under Linux, right? Okay. What we are having on your desktop, we are having Windows. What is my operating system? Windows, right? Yes or no? If you're having a Windows machine and you want to connect to a Linux machine, we should use .ppk extension. Okay. If you are having a Linux desktop, we have Linux desktops also. Okay. And you want to connect to a Linux machine, we'll use .pem. Clear? Let me write this one. If you want to connect from Windows to Linux, we'll be using .ppk extension. If you want to connect from Linux to Linux, we'll be using .pem extension. Okay. Previously, years back, they used to provide only one extension. That is nothing but .pem extension. So that we used to convert .pem to .ppk at that time. Now they have simplified this and they are providing two different formats. Now you tell me which version that we need to select for now. Why PPK? Because we are having a Windows desktop and we want to connect a Linux machine, right? Amazon Linux. Very good. So I am selecting .ppk. Okay, and click on create key pair. And remember, if you lost this key pair, you cannot connect to this machine again. Okay, so click on create key pair. Done. I have downloaded it. Okay, clear with this key pair. So if you want to log in with username and password, it will not allow. It will allow only username with private key type of authentication. We know the username. You assume that we know the username, but we don't have the private key. I have just downloaded the private key. Now, okay, the next step is network settings. Now we need to define security to our EC2 instance. Whoever is having this key, they can log in. Okay, so someone has to learn the private key from you. Okay, if you want to allow him to log in, no, right? అదోనా ఇప్పుడు ఎవరి దగ్గర ఇప్పుడు do you want to allow some users with your username and password into your Instagram account? Hello? చేస్తావా? బయట మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి ఇచ్చి నాది ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ చెక్ చేయమంటావా? చేయవు కదా, ఫ్రెండ్స్కి ఇయ్యం. ఈవెన్ అన్నదమ్ములు అడిగినా కూడా ఇవ్వం కదా, పోరా అంటాం. Like that, nobody is going to share, right? If they have your username and password, they can log in, right? Yes or no? So we need to provide some security to our server. Okay, we need to allow we need to define rules that whom you want to allow to log into this server. Okay, now for that we need to define some kind of security rules. Okay, right. Okay, create a security group and then you can define your rules. How to define it we'll see later, but as of now, okay, let it be default. I don't want to confuse you much. Let it be default. Okay, now tell me this point also. So lot of information to cover. I'm not sure how we'll take it, but we'll summarize it later. But as of now, clear, right? Sir, clear up to here? Everyone?
Yes, Sanjay.
Right. Okay. Now, one thing we need to understand. Okay, by default, okay, any server will not have the capability to accept remote logging connections. By default, any server will not have the capability to accept remote connections. If you create server, that's fine, but you should provide that server to accept remote logging. సర్వర్ కూడా తెలియాలి కదా నీకు రిమోట్ నుంచి యూజర్స్ లాగిన్ అవుతారు అని, అవునా? సో we need to install something called as we need to provide a server the capability of accept remote logging connections. Okay, so for that all the Linux servers we will be installing a package called SSH. There is something called SSH, secure shell. Okay, so each server should have SSH enabled, otherwise it will not accept the remote connections. రిమోట్ లాగిన్ కనెక్షన్స్ ఉండాలి అంటే సర్వర్లో ఏముండాలి, ఎస్ఎస్హెచ్ కనెక్షన్స్ ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసే క్యాపబిలిటీ ఉండాలి. అంటే ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ సర్వర్లో ఎస్ఎస్హెచ్ రన్ అవుతూ ఉండాలి. ఓకే, మనం ఇంకా సర్వరే క్రియేట్ చేయలేదు, వీ హావెంట్ క్రియేటెడ్ ద సర్వర్ ఎట్. yes, so by default AWS guys, they'll provide this SSH already pre-installed in our EC2 instance. Okay, so how we will be logging in to any Linux machine? Via SSH only. Okay, SSH service would be running over there and you need to connect from SSH client. అర్థమైందా? చైనా వాడని అనుకోండి, చైనీస్ లో కనెక్ట్ అవుతాం కదా, చైనీస్ లో we need to communicate. Likewise, it accept SSH connections, all the Linux machines. So we should connect from SSH. That's what I'm saying. Client side we should have SSH, so that remote side on servers we can connect to that SSH. Okay, So it accepts only SSH connections. Okay, each and every service on Linux will run on some port. Okay, if any server wants to accept the remote connections, the first thing is it should have SSH installed in that machine. Okay, and server side we are having some ports. Means imagine these are some gates or some doors to reach out to the server. Okay, imagine all these are కొంచెం డ్రాయింగ్లో వీక్ ఏమనుకోకండి. Okay, so all these are different gates or doors to reach out to the server. Okay, out of which it having some 65,535 gates or something on each and every server. Now we need to open a door. SSH occupies something called as a door number 22. Okay, if you want to come to DevOps class, you should come to this door, right? This door is having some number, they'll say go to door number 3. If you go to door number 5, they will not allow you. The same way, okay, SSH is occupying a door number 22. Okay, in technical word, it's called as a port number. So all these are different ports. You know, to simplify, just mention this one as gates or doors. Okay, so this port number 22 you should open. Okay, this port number 22 you should open, so that all the SSH traffic will be coming to the server via this gate number or door number, and it will reach to the server. So if you want to reach to the server, first thing, the related service should be available and running on that server, and the particular port number should be open. Okay, now you are running some web server. For that you need to have web server related service should be running on the server. Okay, it occupies port number 80. If you want to connect to that web server, you should open port number 8. As an example, I'm saying. Okay, now SSH they have installed for us. Now we need to open port number 22, so that we can log in via port number 22. That is what it means here. Okay, by default it is providing allow SSH traffic, which means it is allowing on port number 22. Okay, server side you have opened port number 22, that's fine. Okay, but from which laptop, from which computer that you want to allow logins. Okay, అదవుతుందా, ఏ యూజర్లకి యాక్సెస్ ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నారు, దట్ వీ నీడ్ టు మెన్షన్ ఇన్ దిస్ సెక్యూరిటీ గ్రూప్స్. Server side you open port number 22, allow SSH traffic, but from which machines that you want to allow login. Okay, now for now anywhere anybody who is having the username and private key, they can log. Just know the key which we have downloaded. If you share this private key and the username with any one of your friends, they can log in. That's what it means. Okay, server is open to accept the connections, SSH connections, but those who you are share with this private key and username, they can log in. That's what it means. Okay, or else if you want to allow only from your IP, just you can select my IP. Only from your laptop only you can log in. Okay, if you are working in a company, you want to give this access to a group of people, then what you can select custom, and we can define the range of IP addresses. Okay, as of now I am just keeping anywhere because a demo server, dummy server, right? No need to worry. Okay, and even I am not sharing this private key with anyone which I have downloaded. No, okay, this key is with me. For your server, your key. For my server, my key. That's fine for me. Okay, now configure storage. How much hard disk that you want? How much hard disk that you want? In AWS terminology, this hard disk is called as EBS, elastic block storage. Terminology might be new to you, but when you go into the subject and you practice it, this will get habituated. No need to worry. Okay, we will call it as EBS volumes. Hard disk is called as EBS. Operating system is called as EAMI. Network rules are called as security groups. Okay, right, Raina? Okay, so operating systems are called as AMIs. Okay, and network rules are called as security groups. Next, hard disk is called as elastic block storage, EBS volumes. Okay, now within this option it is asking how much that you want. Okay, by default it is saying 8 GB, but you can see with the free tier eligible customers can have up to 30 GB. Okay, with the free tier account you can create 30 GB of hard disk. If you want to go, you can create, but you will get bill. They won't stop you to create. You create, you will get a bill. For now, let it be as default. 8 GB is fine for me. Just to test it now. I don't need much space over here. Okay. Now I don't want to go to in advanced details as of now. Okay. Don't worry about all these things. We'll learn in future. But as of now, these are good for me. Okay. Just quickly summarize. First, we have given a name and operating system and instance type, CPU and RAM we have selected, and how to log in. Once we launch the instance, how to log in we have selected, done. And network, allow access traffic anywhere. Hard disk, I leave it as default, done. That's it. Only few things you need to modify. Give the name, select Amazon 2 here, don't select the default one, select Amazon 2 Linux, and instance type T2.micro you don't need to select, by default it would be there. Key pair you need to create. Okay, this is only for the first time. Okay, this key pair will be available in this region only. If you change the region, you won't find this key. I said right? Resources are grouped based on regions. Okay, one time you create, if from next time onwards, whenever you select Amazon Linux, you can go ahead and connect with this key. Okay, it's not regularly you need to create. Once you create, you can use that until you change the operating system. Network settings, you don't need to touch anything. Hard disk, you don't need to touch anything. Simple, right? Only two things: OS, keep it. Remaining thing just keep as default. Okay, click on launch instance, and we need to wait. We need to stop our sugar. Okay, it will take some time because we are providing instructions to you. Somebody needs to create our server on where? North Virginia. Okay, so it has taken successfully all our instructions. Now successfully initiated launch of the instances. Now just scroll down, you can see view all instances here. Okay, now the status is pending. We need to wait until it is running. Clear? Now the instance is running. Now we have successfully created the instance. Once we create the instance, once we create the server, the next step is to connect. Okay, that we'll see in the next class. Because all these are initial steps, right? Again, it will take so many points that we need to understand. Okay, how to connect to a Linux machine from Windows, how to connect one Linux to another Linux. Right? We required, I said SSH is required, right? So how we'll get this SSH on Windows? So many things would be there. We'll see that later. But as of now today, just we have learned how to launch an EC2 instance. And remember this thing. Okay. I launched this server. Now I don't want to use it because the class timings are done. Now before leaving the class, what I need to do? Just select the instance, go to instance state, click on stop instance. Why? All cloud providers or all clouds works in pay as you go model, right? If you just leave like that, the server will be running on North Virginia. One or the other day you'll get the bill. But as of now, you'll use it for free. But it doesn't mean that you should leave like that. Okay, just click on stop instance so that tomorrow you can come and start the instance again. But I don't want to use the same instance again. You also don't use the same instance, but you need to practice, right? So initially for the first few days, we'll be creating a server on daily basis. Once we are into the subject, like after 2-3 days, we'll be doing some configuration on that servers, we'll be stopping and we'll be using the same server. Is it clear? So that you can practice, you can learn. Okay, I'm just clicking on terminate the instance. What is the difference between stopping and terminating? If you stop the instance, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, if you want, you can start the instance back again. But if you terminate, the instance will not be available for you. Okay, they'll delete over there. Okay, just click on terminate instance. Now click on terminate. Now this is setting down. After some time, the state will be terminated. Okay, clear? Now quick recap. Go to EC2 dashboard. Click on launch instance. Now what we need to do? We need to give a name, anything. Next, select the operating system. I don't want this Amazon Linux 2. If you just select this one, Amazon Linux 2 AMA would be there. Select this, which is available for free type. Only this change you need to do. And instance type, let it be t2.micro. Only it is available on free type. Key pair. Tomorrow I want to create. I am using North Virginia, right? I will use the key pair which is already available with me. If I change my laptop and I select this one, what happens? The key is in my laptop. I cannot connect. Clear? అదవుతుందా? పాస్వర్డ్ నా ల్యాప్టాప్లో స్టోర్ అయింది. నేను ల్యాప్టాప్ చేంజ్ చేసుకున్నా. ఆయన క్రెడెన్షియల్స్తో లాగిన్ ఇంటి నుంచి లాగిన్ అవుదామని. If I select this one, I don't have the key, key is in his laptop, right? I can select the same key. In your case, click on create new pair. Network leave it as default. That's it. Click on launch instance. Okay, and just wait for the instance to get created. Okay, select the launch I'll just select in the existing key. Click on launch instance. When you click on the launch instance, we need to wait. And how to see the details? Just scroll down. You can see view all instances here. You select this one. Now we can see one is terminated. And the second one, just let sorry, instances 2. Okay.
Hello, Sandeep sir.
Yes.
Can we create any n number of instances, or is there any limitation for this creating instances?
Okay, I'll tell you that one. But here they are providing options. Okay, if you select all states, I can see one running instance and one is terminated. You can see all the instances here according to their status. Okay, now it's running. I don't want to use it. Select this one. Click on instance state and then terminate the instance. Click on terminate. Clear? Tomorrow you log in after some time. Even you cannot see this as well. Okay, right? Now he asked how many instances that we can create. Is there any limit? Okay, by default, if any cloud provider put a limit, right, it's not called as cloud. You just have elasticity. Okay, by default you can create any number of instances, but we are using free tier account. Okay, with this free tier account, they are having some limitation. Okay, you can run one EC2 instance. Okay, let me 750 hours per month. 750 or 720, which is nothing but 24 into 30 days. How much? 720 hours. Sorry. Okay, I'm Telugu medium guy. 720 hours. This is what the free tier limitation per month. You can use it this much of limitation per month. If you cross this one, you will get bill. Like this, you can use for 12 months. Okay, I launch one EC2 instance. I leave it like that for 30 days, 720 hours. Okay, fine. If I launch one more EC2 instance, then 2 instances would be running 30 days. So automatically we'll get 2 into 720, right? Which means some 1240 or 1440, which means you'll get bill. So for 15 days, if you want to run, you can run it for 50 days, 2 servers, which means each will share 360 hours. Okay, depends on, based on these hours, we need to create a shutdown. But if you create 3 or 4 servers, if you run for 10 minutes, that's fine, or 15 minutes, fine. So that's why I'm saying, once you are done with your task, just go ahead and click on stop the instance, so that we won't get any bill. Okay, by default it will allow 250. So answer your question technically, who is that? Ravi or Ravi or Varun?
Got it.
Ravi
Got
asked.
it. Yeah, got
Okay,
it.
by default they'll allow 250 as the limit. But if you want beyond to that, they will provide. But for that, you need to write an email. Hey, this is our company. For this purpose, we want to expand our servers within this region. So can you please provide space for 100 more servers? So that he will arrange some servers for you. అక్కడ సర్వర్స్ ఫ్రీ ఉండాలి కదా, మనకు ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలంటే వాడికి ఫ్రీ ఉండాలి. మన రెంట్కి అడుగుతున్నాం, ఒక లిమిట్ వరకు he'll put it. If you want beyond that limit, just we need to inform you. If you inform, he will arrange from somewhere, and he will give those servers for rent. Okay, by default it's 250. Beyond to that, you need to write an email to AWS guys. Right? Clear, sir? I hope it's clear, I guess. Right? So this is how you need to launch an EC2 instance, and don't forget to terminate the EC2 instance. Okay. For you, just select, apart from North Virginia, just select any other things. Okay, Ohio or California. Pradeep. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see how can we connect. Okay, if possible, I'll show you to connect one Linux to another Linux. I'll see that. Okay, for that I need to get my laptop. As of now, everybody's having Windows machines only, right? Okay, so we'll see how to connect from Windows to Linux tomorrow. For that, again, we need to understand few more things. Once we log in, what to do with that Linux server, what we should do with that Linux server, we'll learn step by step.